Well, these particular items are stones from the grist mill in Weybridge. They have a metal insert right in here which locks into the drive wheel. The drive wheel then extends over to where the water wheel is. And of course, all the grain used to be ground by these stone grinding systems. So you needed two of these, and they would be turned, I believe, in an opposed way. So these stones are all cut and carefully prepared and set in together so that ultimately these stones will crush the grain and not ultimately grind up all the stone. So very important and very early. This is technology that's about 1865, 1870. And these were brought up to the museum in 1945. And so constitute an important part of the technological development of grist milling in Huronia. This is another very much larger, as you can see, millstone than the previous ones from the small mills in places like Weybridge. This is an industrial mill stone, we believe, from the Copeland Milling Company that located here in Midland. But again, the stone is all prefabbed, sort of like concrete, but very, very strong, well-knitted piece of equipment, very carefully formed. And of course, these were millstones that were used industrially here in Midland, probably again around the turn of the century. This particular artifact comes from Regent Street School, and when it was demolished earlier last year, in the summer of 2010, we were able to retrieve and get the girls' entrance sign from the school. Unfortunately, the boys had been removed many, many years ago, so this is all that remains of the girls' entranceway. And of course, public schools in the 1915, 1920, 1930 period had boys on one side of the school and girls on the other side of the school. It's only in the 50s and 60s that things actually became more co-ed. So this represents a little bit of our educational history here in the town of Midland. This fence actually comes from the home of James Playfair, which was called Edge Hill. This is a very large, fairly complicated form of design. All of these pieces came from Scotland. They were manufactured in Scotland and brought over to be installed at Edge Hill. This is a gate, so the entire estate had this very fine metal fencing all the way around the house and grounds. And so when you passed through the fence, you were actually on the property itself. I believe the fence was brought over in 1906 because the dating, the research that we've done on the style of the grading, it appears to be about 1905, 1906. We moved it over here about 10 years ago. There was some work being done by the Parks Board, or Parks Department, and they set this particular section of the fence off. And so we went over and asked to move it over to the museum. We had asked that we get the whole fence, and we would actually fence in all of the historic items that are outside here at the museum, but so far we haven't done that.